everyone, Don Murphy back here with you yet again for another Welcome to Moopesort on VHS tape update. And today we're going to be discussing something very prescient in the world and Hollywood, as well as this YouTube munchkin community I have built, the Welcome to Moopesort on VHS tape community here on this YouTube channel network. And that is reboots. The Hollywood well has run dry. I think we all know that. There hasn't been any fresh ideas in a decade plus. It's been a long time. And this film came out in 2004. And when it came out, it just shook the Hollywood establishment. Tickets, the box office was through the roof. They had trouble keeping, enough tickets. They were building extensions in the theaters, adding more seating, and people in droves were just going to the theater and watching. And everyone was just pulling a Paul Rubens in the theater. You couldn't walk into a theater and not see half the audience just pulling a Paul Rubens, having a great time watching these two Hollywood titans act side by side. But since then, there has been a decline. Their funding has been cut, and the ideas have run dry. Inevitably, this has led to Hollywood just doing reboot after reboot, where they will take a concept. For those who don't know the Hollywood lingo, let me get that light going here. I'm in my garage, as you all know, and it's the sensor. I got to get a new sensor. This thing just giving me all kinds of trouble here. But for those who don't know, this might maybe a little inside baseball for some of my new munchkins watching this YouTube channel here. A reboot is as follows. It's where they take an idea and they reboot it. And they execute the same idea with certain changes, and the parameters have been altered. And they add new actors, sometimes a new story, a subplot, which is like a plot, but it's more of a sandwich. And they change. What was old is new again. Hollywood is circular, as we all know, like Ray Romana's testicles. They keep going in circles, and they keep rebuilding the same things over and over again. And ultimately, I believe in the next 4 to 8 months, there's going to be a big announcement in Hollywood, and that will be a reboot of this film here, Welcome to Moopesort. And to be honest with you, this is not something I'm looking forward to at all. How can you top greatness? You have certain films out there that just are perfect, and how can you make it better? You can't. However, if they're going to try to pull this off, I believe there are some choice castings that they can make in the film for this inevitable reboot of Welcome to Moopesort that might lead to a success. Now, here in the original film, as you can see, we have Roy Romana and Gene Hackman, the Godfather himself, and they were perfect. You couldn't ask for anything better. But another thing that's popular in Hollywood right now is the gender swapping. They made a Ghostbusters. They all were girls. They all menstruated and had their periods while they were fighting the ectoplasms and the ghosts, and the light turns green, trap is clean. And it was just a successful film, a great film. I loved it, better than the original Ghostbusters. So I believe what they could do here to really draw in the audience is gender swap Welcome to Moopesort. Now, you have the older character here, Gene Hackman. I believe we need a distinguished older gal in that role. I was thinking Captain Janeway from Star Trek Voyager, whatever her real name is, but I could really see her pulling it off. But then I had an epiphany. And that epiphany was none other than B. Arthur. Can you imagine this film? Just take the same script and shoot it again, but put B. Arthur in this role here. I think that'd be pretty great. I know I'd be pulling a Paul Rubens in the theater watching that. So you gender swap this guy here, but you leave this one alone. You leave him a male presence in the film, because then you'll have that sexual tension. And as we all know, the #1 celebrity fan of this film is none other than Jonathan Taylor Thomas, JTT. So what I think, when they do this reboot of Welcome to Moopesort, you get JTT, you get B. Arthur, and you just have a great time watching it. Boom, done. That's all you need. B. Arthur, JTT. Just imagine the names here. JTT, B. Arthur, the funniest combo that you've seen since Pure Luck, with Martin Short and Predator 2 guy, the guy from Angels in the outfield. I forget his name. I believe he was in. He played the cop in the film where the other guy's crazy. He's crazy. He's a real loose cannon. I forget that film. I think they made a couple sequels about it, but I can't remember his name. So the greatest combo since that guy and Martin Short in Pure Luck. You'll have JTT. You have B. Arthur here. And then, of course, there are some smaller roles. You have this lady here, which I don't even, actually kind of looks like B. Arthur a little bit, but I'm thinking they go younger. There's this Sydney Sweeney. You could get her in this role. That'd be fantastic. And then here you have, again, one of my favorite shots in the film. You really get the mise-en-scene of Gene Hackman holding a ball cap, and I think that's a pepperoni pizza or a box of baseball cards. I can't really tell, but he's holding a box, and there's Roy Romanow with his pants up. As soon as this shot ends, his pants drop, and they stay dropped for the rest of the film. So that would be JTT. This would be B. Arthur, and then here you have another gal. Who I'm thinking, she's got the long hair. You can gender flop that one too, and maybe go with like Reno Reigns, Lorenzo Lamas himself. And then here we have Dustin Diamond. I'm thinking we really just go with another Saved by the Bell kid, like the Zach guy. He was always turning and looking at the camera and doing his monologues. Just get that guy right there, and then some other gal. I'm struggling here, but let's just stick with the Golden Girls theme, and we'll go with Estelle Getty. Estelle Getty could be that role there. So what I'm thinking here is, if Hollywood wants to call me and just have a meeting and talk about this, I'm all available. There goes the light again. My time is up. That's the stage lights going off saying, hey, your time's up, Don. But I really think this could be a great thing if it is executed properly. There's only one way to do it, and it's to gender flop everybody. So if Hollywood is interested, my phone number, my answering machine is plugged in. I'm always willing to share my thoughts. Or if you want to forward this video to any Hollywood executive, I know they'd be willing to listen. Give me a call. We'll talk. We'll make deals.